yourselves as opposed to the opponent. But how did you like that first quarter compared to what you can be and what you have been?
I mean, they did a good job. I think, we talked about it before the game, Doug. They were talking about being a little more ready, and I thought that for the most part, we also addressed that maybe our offense needed to, get the ball moving a little bit more, and I thought we really did that tonight, all night long, and it just obviously created a lot better shots and a lot more cuts to the basket and things like that. I don't know what we end up with, 31 assists. That's a pretty good night, passing the ball and finishing at the end of it. But we were much more ready to go and much more fluid in our offensive stuff, which I thought helped our defense.
With him since he first got here, Pascal has now become the 5th leading scorer in franchise history. Would you have imagined that when he came out of college with the offensive limitations he had at that point?
Probably not. Doug. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it says a lot. I mean, I think we when we first got him, I think we were excited about his energy and his athleticism and things like that, and just kind of this hunger to play. That I think that translated pretty quickly in a hunger to get a lot better. He's obviously had some ups and downs like most guys do in their careers and come out of it here on the other side. I still think at this particular moment he's still working himself back from the injury. So anyway, yeah, he's done a lot of work, man, to work on his shooting, work on his skills, adjust to some vision and passing and all that kind of stuff. And I think there's still a level he's trying to climb up to here, and I think he can get back to. I mean, he was playing probably at his best level earlier in this season, right? That he can get back to here when he gets a little more legs underneath him. Yeah.
You said before the game that maybe the Raptors looked less athletic, but it was more related to energy than athleticism. And then tonight, you looked much more athletic against the longest team in the NBA. Did this game sort of prove your point?
Well, I don't know if I was trying to prove any point or anything, but I just think when we're having some struggles, a lot of that, energy is like a big thing, right? Energy is a big thing of this game, and I think that we got some really good athletes out there, right? But they need to be firing. The energy piece needs to be there. So, and again, those things kind of keep the energy and the momentum maybe is the right word, just like, the ball's moving and guys are scoring and guys are guarding a little harder, the things just kind of keep building on each other, and it all kind of comes back to energy, right? So it's something that we try to create with the style we play, and when we don't have it, right, for whatever reason, it's going to happen. For whatever the reason, then it's going to be a little harder for us, and we are going to look a little ordinary. But when we do have it, we don't. We look like we can be really good.
You mentioned the assists, and most of them came from your 4 main guys. I think each of them had at least 4. How much does it help the ball movement when you have all 4 of those guys making plays?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the ball movement is just making the right play, right? And when they're all doing it, I think they're feeding. I mean, that to me is kind of what it should feel like or look like, that we don't necessarily know who's going to have the 30-point night. Tonight it was OG, right? Because a lot of guys found him, right? He made a bunch of good plays too on his own moves, but a lot of that came on, boom, 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 boom around, and then he was taking his guy rather than coming down and looking at the whole defense loaded up or whatever and making a move. So a lot of that was him playing against a closeout, or so I know they all had some pretty decent numbers there tonight, but you're right, all of them have 4+ assists with a 10 in there and a 7 in there, those 4 main guys. So they're just making the right play, and that's what we're after, right?
Is that what you want OG's role to look like? Sort of, some nights it'll be 30-point guy, some nights it'll be...
I think that really is the game. I mean, you can go back to any of our seasons, right? there's stretches where Gary's a 30-point-a-game guy. Tonight it wasn't him tonight, but it was the other night. I mean, that's kind of the game. It changes with every opponent. It changes with just, again, the way guys are feeling, how the ball's finding them, how teams are playing, et cetera. So, yeah, you should take what's there and make the right plays, and it should move around a little bit, yeah.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about Juancho. He has got injured.
Yep.
I don't know how is he. If he feels good or.
Well, he didn't return, right? He's got a sprained ankle, right? I don't really have an update as to what it's looking like yet, but I'm sure he'll go through all the, X-ray, MRI, all that stuff. But he did continue on it for a bit. I thought, I was getting ready to sub him, and then he kind of sprung out of that free throw and went down and looked like he was moving pretty good. But obviously it was sore, so he needed to come out, and then he couldn't return. So we'll take a look, see here in a minute, and we'll update you on that as soon as we can.
Nick, I know you didn't play for the senior national team, but Caleb Houston, I know you brought him in for a workout pre-draft, and he's obviously played for the youth teams. What can you say about him, just from the little that you have been around him, in terms of on the court or off?
Well, he's a confident shooter, right? He's certainly a guy that he's got size, he's got a quick release, he's certainly not afraid to put him up, right? So it's a pretty good combination. It means you're probably gonna be a good shooter. Those three things with size, quick release, and confidence. So we had him in, and he was playing, I think, for the under-18 team at the time, and we had a scrimmage against him, and it was a pretty good team with him and Ben and Zach, and it was a pretty good team. I think they got third in the world. Right, so he was a big part of that team, but it looks good. I think I think maybe his college career wasn't maybe quite what they thought, so it looks good. It doesn't matter. I mean, he's playing, and he's doing a good job right now. It looks like he's got a lot of potential.
Just one more on OG. You talk about athleticism, but he went down there and beat people up tonight in the paint. How much does that add to his game? And you need him to be that kind of physical presence every night?
Yeah, I mean, I like it, Doug, when he goes down there and he's making a move and all of a sudden he's dunking it, right? Like there's some power to get to that spot, and then there's a lot of burst left at the end. There's not a lot of bad's going to happen when you go dunk it, as long as you do it straight on. Until we turn too slow on that. Speed rate on the circle's got to be a little quicker.
But the power game that he showed tonight when he just went.
Yeah, no, it's
barreling the guy.
Yeah, and that's there's a fine line there between barreling guys over and just bouncing them off you, right? And I think he's getting there, and that he's barreled a few guys over too this year, but that's good. You gotta stand in there and take it on him. It can't feel too good. So if he's again, it's a lot of balance and composure at the end of that to lay that hit on him and then stay on balance and then be able to explode up.
Scottie, I think all of your points today came either in the paint or at the line. Was that a concerted effort on your part to kind of be in attack mode and be aggressive?
Just taking what the defense is giving me. Today was one of those days where I was just getting at the rim, finding those good looks, being able to insert myself at the paint, have that dominance down there tonight. So I feel like it was just one of those nights.
And all four of you, Pascal, Fred, and OG, had at least 4 assists. How much does it help the movement when all 4 of you guys are making plays like you were today?
It helps the offense a lot. Being able to move the ball, share the ball. Everybody gets touches, everybody gets fills, everybody's happy when it's days like this. So I feel like we talked about moving the ball today at the start of the game plan, and we executed it.
You talked about being amazed by Pascal the other night. What do you think of OG?
OG had a great game. Looked up in the first or second quarter, he had like 16 early. So he was doing what he do, getting to the rim, getting to the line, making shots. So he was doing amazing today.
Do you feel like his game has taken a step forward from last season?
For sure. I saw that at the beginning of the season already, not just now. He's making better reads, being able to get downhill better. He's doing a lot of big things for us on both ends of the floor. So I feel like it translated to his game, him taking that big step offensively and defensively.
After the last couple games, how much of an emphasis was the first quarter getting off to a good start tonight as a team?
I wouldn't say it was a super emphasis. I feel like we just wanted to regroup, be better. It was a bad feeling in the locker room. We just got out there, tried to do what we do best, get the ball movement going so it could just get everybody start on defense. Really, that's what the main focus was, being able to start on defense, getting back in transition, being able to end possessions with a rebound so we can just get out, go, and have our offense be able to make us feel good on offense. It starts with our defense, though.
Scottie, what's your relationship like with Caleb Houston? I know you guys played together. Do you guys still talk, and have you given him advice about, his first year in the league?
I wouldn't say I gave him advice. I feel like we just talk about other things about the world, talk about life. But that's my boy. That's going to always be my boy. Back in Montverde days, it was cool seeing him out there on the floor. It made me happy. I was smiling a little bit every time I saw him. It was fun.
What have you seen in his game grow from those days when you guys played together to college and to now? Like, what has really grown?
Caleb, I feel like Caleb, he knows himself. He knows what he does best. He was always a lights-out shooter that shoot the ball really well. I love playing with him in high school. Every time I passed him, he made threes, so it's easy assists going his way. But Caleb, he knows what he does best. He knows his game, and he knows his role. So I feel like that's one thing that's really good about him.
Is he one of the best shooters you've played with?
NBA has a lot of good shooters. We got a lot of good shooters. He about like top 7, I guess. Top 7.
What did you think of Thad's dunk tonight? And what kind of energy does that give you guys when you have something like that?
Thad turned young today, man. That boy had them young bloods. It's good. I thought he was gonna lay it up, and he just rose up and dunked it. Everybody was just on the bench, and then everybody just stood up. It was good to see my old man get a dunk in.
Did you have any critique of OG's attempted 360 or no?
Nah. OG doing what he was wanting to do, man. It don't really matter to me. Just wish I got an assist, but you know what I'm saying? But if he want to do that, he had 32, 12, 17. He was balling today, He wanted to get some style points, I guess.
And no look past today.
Who?
Okay.
To
I think Christian, yeah.
Trying to take after you.
I don't remember.
Any regrets about the 360?
No, I just missed it. I've made it before, so he made a great play.
What did you envision your role being like when Pascal came back? Was it something where it was like, some nights it would be like this, and other nights it would be?
I don't know. I just try to be aggressive every night, no matter who's out there. So I didn't even think about that. Just try to continue being aggressive.
Have you felt defenses change the way they defend you since he's returned?
Yeah, it just depends who's in the lineups that are in the game. So, like if he's out or whoever else is in with me. So.
As the years go on, can you feel your physicality having more and more of an impact on guys who might be defending you, or on the other end, if that's true?
Yeah. Offensively, I try to be aggressive, drive with force. Take bumps, take hits, and then defensively too. Try to blow up DHLs. Try to pressure the ball, get through screens, fighting through, stuff like that.
After these last couple games, how much of an emphasis did you guys have on getting off to a good start tonight in the first quarter as a team?
That was probably the biggest emphasis tonight, just getting out to a good start. Just playing hard from the start, executing offensively and defensively, and just trying to play in transition.
OG, is that something just getting up for games and being ready right at the tip-off? Is that something that you kind of learned as your career goes goes on, and now you can kind of help share some tips with some of the younger players?
Yeah. I mean, I think no matter what, we always try to come out and have a good start. It just hasn't happened the last 2 games. So we just tried our best tonight to make sure we got off to a good start, and we did.
We see you dunk a lot, but what did you think of that dunk, and what kind of energy does that give you guys?
Oh, yeah, he dunks sometimes. So he dunks in practice. So we see him dunk a lot. So we're not surprised he can dunk.
Are there any habits that you've picked up along the years, back to that other question, in terms of that help you get more prepared for a game and for a tip-off to be ready right away that maybe you didn't have in your rookie year, but now like pre-game habits, game day habits that you have?
Maybe just a warm-up, going through it with intention, more intention, like just being specific with it.
OG, you guys have been experimenting with a couple of different starting lineups this week. What are your kind of early thoughts on how things have been going with, Gary coming off the bench?
Yeah, he's been coming off the bench the last couple of games. I think he's came in the game and made an impact. We know he's a starter in the league. I think every team knows he's a starter. He's a great player. So just no matter what, if he's coming off the bench starting, we know he can make an impact and affect the game both ways.
OG, how much of emphasis do you put on being first down the floor and getting into those early post-ups?
Especially if I'm contesting the shot or already in perimeter, and if we're securing the rebound, I always try to get down early and do an early seal. And then Pascal and Scottie do it too. So, and when Precious is there, he does it. Chris does it. So we all try to do that.
Okay, so obviously coming off of 2 tough, weird losses, this was huge for you guys to kind of get the win and build up some momentum. How important was this to kind of carry over into this upcoming week of games?
It was really important. Like you said, we came from 2 really bad games. Like we started those 2 games terrible. So we came out today and we wanted to be ready. We want all the guys in the starting lineup to be ready and to play good from the jump. And I think that's what we did today. So I feel like it's really important. It's a really big game for us because, like you said, it gave us momentum, and now we got 2 big games upcoming. So we're gonna approach those games with the same mentality.
Well, that being said, obviously your next game, there's like a Lakers game. Boston first, you're right. Still a huge game with the way that they're playing. How do you mentally approach it with, you being so still young in the league and starting and having different roles? How are you approaching that?
I'm just approach it the same way. I know the coaches staff, they're gonna have a game plan. So for me, it's just go out there and trying to do whatever the game plan is. Just trying to apply the game plan. Those are big games, like you said. Those are big games, but I think that's why you want to play in the NBA. You want to play against the best players. So for me, I think it's just another game against the best player, some of the best players in the league. So I think I'm gonna be ready and try to help the team get a win.
And then what's it like to play next to OG Anunoby, the way that the level he's been playing at consistently? His name has already started circulating in the All-Star conversations now. Kind of what's your takeaway from the way he was performing tonight and has been over the past couple stretches here?
It's amazing. I think OG is a really good player, man. He's a really good player. Just with the intensity he plays defensively and offensively. I think there's not a lot of people in this league that play with that intensity, the way he played the whole game. Basically, he can play all 48 minutes on both ends of the floor, and he don't get tired. So I think he's a really big piece of our team, and I hope he's going to continue to do what he's doing for right now.
And real quick, what's your biggest takeaway so far, being now above the quarter mark of the season? What have you learned in your rookie year?
I learned a lot. I learned that first thing I learned is that I'm not going to get no calls. And also, I just learned that I got to play with more energy. I got to play with more energy, and I got to be stronger out there. And you just try to match up the intensity of the game, and try to do all the little things that some other people don't want to do. And just I think that's how I'm going to get on the court, by doing those little things. And like I said, just try to match the intensity of the other people.
Yeah, I'm a story on Pascal, who went past Bargnani tonight into 5th place all-time scoring list.
Sorry, Jeff.
When he got here, you never would have thought he would be that prolific a scorer that quickly?
Not that fast,
yeah.
Especially the way he came in. He didn't really have a role.
No.
He was playing like the first 5 minutes of the game, and then not at all. was a rim runner, energy guy. So this is a testament to, his skill level and his talent, but the work he puts in and just the relentless attitude and just, how far he's grown. And it's just, he's got to give him it's hard to find a trajectory like that in the league, and he deserves a ton of credit for that.
With the first year, he could kind of make that spin move. I don't think he knew it.
Yeah, right.
Everybody in the gym. And
I played against him in college, so I knew he could score. He had a scorer's mentality. It was mostly on the block and, hustle points, but he's developed a game, and once he got the handle and the confidence and the flow, once you add the jumper, it's pretty hard to guard. There's not many guys that can guard on one-on-one, so he's developed into an incredible offensive player.
He played with all the greats here, DeMar, Kyle, and yourself.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of Vince. Where do you put him?
He's right up there at the top. I think, as he continues to grow, I think what we're seeing from him this year is putting him pretty high on the list. We'll see how that turns out in the playoffs. I think we all are spoiled now since we won a championship. We hold everything to that caliber, so if he can lead us in the playoffs like that, with that same incredible performance, I think he's going to keep climbing, and he'll have a heck of a case at the end of his career.
OG has also taken a huge step this season, just in consistency and everything.
Mm-hmm.
How much progress have you seen from him in his transition from different roles?
Yeah, just more consistency. I think he's in better shape, being able to do it on both sides of the ball without, those lulls in the game. I think that's probably the hardest thing to do as you start to grow is, not take plays off, not take games off. And he's just been consistent. He's doing it on both ends of the floor. He's making trips up and down. He's falling down a little bit less and less every game. And it just looks really strong and comfortable out there.
And then just kind of circling back to the Pascal conversation, obviously I think almost like you guys have similar paths and almost being overlooked, underrated maybe at times. When was the turning point where you saw that Pascal could be something special, maybe even yourself, like you knew that you're going to be something special this week?
Yeah, I think I remember, I don't know if it was our first year or our second year, he had a game at Golden State where he made a bunch of jumpers, and I just remember us on the bench, that was the day we knew, like, this is going to be a $100 million guy. You could just see it, and once he started to put it together after that, it was, the rest is history. So we saw it pretty early with him. Myself, again, first, second year, a couple 15-point games, couple threes, close out some games, play with the starters, and then you try to build on that. So just lucky to be able to come in at the same time with a guy like that and be able to share, some of the success with him. And, we got a lot more to do, a long way to go.
Look at him, he's just on there beating people up,
Yeah.
which is new for him.
Yeah, it's good. He looks stronger. Yeah. I think he's in the weight room more. He's just working on his body. And, as you grow, you got to find different ways to keep getting better. It's not all just on the court. And he just looks really comfortable and poised down there. And if again, we were waiting on him to figure out how to use that tank of a body that he has. And, he's bouncing people now. And that's an extra easy 8 to 12 points. It'll take you from 16, 17 up to, 19, 20, and that's all he needed.
And he's also playing 21 games in a row.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's for him, a big deal.
It's a big deal. He's been consistent. He's been incredibly consistent for us, solid every night, and that's what we're going to need. And he's got a long way to go. There's still so many ways he can continue to get better, which is awesome for us and awesome for him, and, give him credit.